welcome to YourPedia, and this is Shubhya. So let's solve one more very interesting exercise of sentence equivalence, and this is going to be your exercise number 77th of Manhattan, right? So here it's a very simple one. Sometimes when you get a sentence, the statement looks very lengthy and you find like, oh, it will be a tough one. But no, let's do it the same way. Whenever a comma comes, draw a line and then we will read the sentence like that. Understand the meaning of the first part, try to deliver the context. One more thing I would like to tell you, like suppose a sentence is there, we will read it out. We need to check if it requires some kind of a positive meaning or negative meaning. And similarly, we will check those things in our options, that do we need to give a positive answer or a negative answer. And some of the options do get eliminated at the very start because of the positive and the negative, you can say, the answers in it, right? So let's start with the sentence. Put a comma line wherever the comma is there. So here is a comma, like, oh, it's not working. So here is a comma. Then you have, where is the comma the next? Here is a comma, and I can go, like, two commas are there. Now we need to read out the sentence, right? So what is the sentence now? To avoid a lengthy present term. Now, there is some kind of a person and he's avoiding a lengthy present term. So maybe that person is convicted. We get an idea. Okay, he's already convicted and he's going to some kind of a prison. But he or she is trying to avoid the long tenure, that maybe the tenure gets shortened. So this was the first part. The convicted financier is signed a binding document. Now convicted financier you understood, that is some kind of, you can say, an investor. Okay, so a convicted, like already arrested or under some kind of, you can say, something like the person has done. So that investor signed a binding document. So he signed or she signed some kind of a document delineating the millions of fines and restitution that she must pay. So whenever a person gets convicted or someone gets arrested, that person gets, you can say, imprisonment for some time, plus the person has to pay a fine also. So she signed a document that where she was already told like whatever the fines are going to come on her, right? So million of fines and restitution that she must pay, like all the restoration, something she did wrong, and another legal memorandum. So memorandum means some kind of a business agreement in which she dash her former role and financial interest in the hedge fund she had founded. Now you understand the sentence that the person is there, there's a girl and she's convicted and she's trying to reduce her tenure in the prison, like she's signing some kind of a document where she already is ready to pay certain amount. Plus, what is the next portion here? That she was on some role, you know, like when you are convicted and whatever the role you have, you do not acquire the role, but you give up the role, right? So you cannot acquire, you cannot attain a new role, you have to give up your formal role. Formal role tells like she was at a position in some organization. Now that position, she has to leave this opposition. Obviously, she has to give up that position, like, okay, I'm not working here anymore, I'm not into this institution anymore. So that is giving up her role because she cannot acquire, she is convicted. This is something you need to remember, like convicted is there, then her former role is there. So obviously the person won't acquire, the person will give up. Now related to this, same, we have 6 options. Let's start with the first. Abjure means something that you give up, you reject, or you deny, right? So give up is there, you reject is there, or you deny is there. Denial is there. Next comes jeopardized. That means something, you are threatening something because someone is doing, like you're putting someone in a dangerous situation. So to threaten someone out. Next is your reneged. Reneged means like you are going back on a promise, you're breaking someone's promise, you are trying to back out from your words. Okay, so it's like related to some promise, you're not fulfilling anymore. Next is your deposed. Deposed means like you are removed from the office forcefully, suddenly. So removal is there and that is forcefully or suddenly is there. Next is your censured. That is, censured means like you're expressing severe disapproval of, or you can say in some formal statement. So you are disapproving something. disapproval is there. And the last is your forwent. Forwent is like you are trying to give up, you are trying to surrender, or you are trying to wave off. So that is your forwent, right? So you've got these 6 options, and now you have to choose wisely, like which is the option which fits into this category, right? Now we have something related to give up. Now, as I told you, you need to check it out. Okay, we cannot use positive word. Is there any positive word? Like no. Then you have to choose like, okay, so here sincere, disapproval, the formal role is not required. Now, breaking a promise, we are not talking about any promise, Ranish is not there. We are not threatening anyone, that is not there. Next is deposed, forwent and abjured. Abjured is giving up, same way what we are expecting. Deposed is like removing forcefully. This is just given to confuse you out, and you cannot forcefully, you cannot leave yourself forcefully. You are giving it up willingly, that yeah, okay, I'm not working I am anymore. I give up this role because I am already into some kind of a custody. So it is forwent and abjured, like you're giving up and waving off. So what is the explanation given? Since the hedge fund founder is doing something to avoid the long prison term, and because the clue former role, you know, she gave up that role. Abjure and forwent both work here. Be precise. Renish means to break a promise. A leader can be deposed, but you don't depose a role. You cannot depose a role. You can depose, or you can say promise or this. The hedge fund founder may be being censured, but it does not make sense for her to censure her role. So the answers are abjured and forwent. So what is abjure? Like I told you before, to give up a belief or an activity, and you are trying that I won't work for this anymore. Forwent means the same, to relinquish power or responsibility. You are resisting, you are quitting out on your own will, and you are giving up out. Next is ranish, that is back out, some kind of a promise, to not fulfill a promise. Although my father made a promise to extend my curfew, he later decided to renege upon his word and order me home by 11. Censure is an official reprimand, or you can say some kind of abuse, you're trying to hide something, that is also censure, right? So that was all, and next we will cover soon in our next exercise of Manhattan. Keep preparing, keep growing, and I wish you all the best. So we'll meet next in the next exercise.